The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council chamber buzzed with panic. Thousands of alien representatives from across the galaxy had gathered for an emergency session. Some floated in anti-gravity pods, others stood on hovering platforms, while many sat in chairs adapted to their unique body shapes. Their worried whispers filled the air like a swarm of angry insects. At the center of the chamber, a hologram showed a small blue planet, Earth. "They've done it," announced High Counselor Rex, his gray skin turning slightly purple with stress. "The humans have achieved faster-than-light travel." The chamber erupted in chaos. Several representatives immediately fled the room, while others began shouting in their native languages. The translation systems struggled to keep up with the flood of voices. "But that's impossible," called out a tall, crystalline being. "Their civilization is barely 1,000 years old." Nevertheless, Rex continued, raising all four of his hands for silence. "Our sensors detected their first successful quantum fold jump yesterday. A small ship disappeared from Earth orbit and reappeared near their red planet, Mars, in less than a second." Admiral James Walker stood at the bridge of the U.S. Horizon, Earth's newest spaceship, reading the message that had just arrived. His weathered face showed no emotion, but his knuckles turned white as he gripped the datapad tighter. After 20 years in the United Space Command, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. "Sir," his first officer, Lieutenant Reed, approached carefully. "What does the message say?" Walker took a deep breath. "It's from something called the Galactic Council. They're demanding we stop all faster-than-light experiments immediately." Back in the council chamber, the representatives watched recordings of Earth's quantum fold technology in action. Unlike the standard method of creating stable wormholes that every other civilization used, the humans had discovered how to literally fold space itself, creating a temporary bridge between 2 points. "Their method is crude, unstable, and absolutely brilliant," explained the science minister, "a beam made of pure energy contained within a metallic suit. They're achieving in seconds what takes our ships hours. But the energy readings are off the charts. They're creating ripples in space-time that could be catastrophic. We must stop them," declared another representative, "for their own good and the safety of the galaxy." "The humans don't know the protocols," Rex said quietly. "They don't understand the dangers. Our civilization spent millennia developing safe methods of faster-than-light travel. They've stumbled upon something powerful but incredibly dangerous." At Earth's quantum research facility, alarms began blaring. Dr. Anna Thompson rushed to her monitoring station, her coffee forgotten on her desk. The quantum fold drive they had developed was showing strange readings. Space itself seemed to be reacting to their experiments in ways they hadn't predicted. "Dr. Thompson," called one of her assistants, "we're detecting multiple objects entering the solar system. They're massive." Through her facility's telescopes, Thompson watched as ships of various designs appeared at the edge of their solar system. Some were organic-looking, others geometric, and a few seemed to bend light around them in impossible ways. All of them were heading toward Earth. Admiral Walker gathered Earth's military leadership for an emergency meeting. The message from the Council was clear: stop the experiments, or face consequences. But humanity had finally broken the light barrier, finally found a way to reach the stars. Could they really give that up? "They say our method is dangerous," Walker explained to the assembled leaders, "that it could tear holes in space-time itself. But our tests show it's stable. Different from their approach, yes, but stable." "Are they afraid of us?" asked General Martinez. "Afraid we found a better way." Before Walker could answer, another message arrived. This one made his blood run cold. The Council wasn't just worried about the technology. They were terrified of what it might attract. Something ancient and powerful had taken notice of Earth's achievement, and the Council was begging humanity to shut everything down before it was too late. Walker looked out the window at the night sky, where the first alien ships were becoming visible as bright points of light. Humanity had wanted to reach the stars. Now the stars were coming to them. and not all of them were friendly. The United Space Command's emergency bunker buzzed with activity. Located deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the massive underground chamber held Earth's most important military and scientific leaders. Large screens covered the walls, showing the positions of alien ships now surrounding Earth. Admiral Walker stood at the central podium, his uniform crisp despite having been awake for the past 36 hours. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, 12 hours ago, we received an ultimatum from the Galactic Council. They want us to shut down all quantum fold experiments immediately. The room erupted in protests. Humanity had waited centuries to reach the stars, and now, just when they had found a way, aliens were telling them to stop. Dr. Thompson stepped forward, her usual lab coat replaced by a formal suit. "The Council claims our method is dangerous," she said, pulling up data on the main screen. "But look at these readings. 6 successful jumps, 0 anomalies. The quantum fold drive works perfectly." She touched her tablet, and a hologram appeared above the conference table. It showed their test ship, the Starleaper, as it made its historic first jump. The small vessel seemed to ripple for a moment, then simply vanished from one point in space and appeared at another. 3 months ago, when we first tested the quantum fold theory, Dr. Thompson continued, we discovered something remarkable. Space isn't rigid like the Council believes. It's flexible. We can fold it like paper, creating a temporary bridge between 2 points. The doors to the chamber opened, and 3 alien representatives entered. The first was tall and gray-skinned, High Counselor Rex himself. Behind him floated a being made of swirling energy contained in a metallic suit, and lastly came a creature that looked like a walking tree. "Your method is elegant," the energy being said, its voice translated by a small device. "But it breaks fundamental laws of space travel that we followed for millions of years." General Martinez stood up, his face red with anger. "Laws, or just traditions you're too scared to question?" "You don't understand," Rex said quietly. "We're not here to stop your progress. We're here to save your species." Dr. Thompson pulled up more data. "Our way is faster than yours," she argued. "More efficient. A quantum fold takes less energy than your wormhole technology. And more dangerous." The tree-like alien rustled. "Space has rules. Rules that have kept the galaxy safe. Rules that keep them from noticing." Admiral Walker caught the hesitation in the alien's voice. "Them? Who are you talking about?" The aliens looked at each other nervously. Rex stepped forward, placing a device on the table. It projected an image of another galaxy, one that seemed to be torn apart by massive forces. "This was the Andromeda VII civilization," he explained. "They too discovered a method similar to yours. They too thought they knew better than the Council's protocols." He paused, letting the image sink in. "They vanished 3 million years ago, their entire civilization erased in a single day." Silence fell over the room. Dr. Thompson studied the data scrolling beside the image, her face growing pale. "These energy readings," she whispered, "they're similar to our quantum fold signature, but 1,000,000 times stronger." "The Council doesn't create rules without reason," Rex said gently. "We're the survivors, the civilizations that learned to travel between stars safely, quietly. The ones who didn't." He gestured at the destroyed galaxy. Admiral Walker looked at Dr. Thompson. Could they be right? Could our method be drawing attention we don't want? Before she could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. On the main screen, sensors showed massive energy disturbances at the edge of the solar system. Something was coming, something that made the alien ships look tiny in comparison. The tree alien's leaves trembled. "It's too late," it whispered. "They've noticed you." Dr. Thompson rushed to her instruments, her mind racing. The Council was hiding something, something bigger than just concerns about safety protocols. Whatever was coming, she had a feeling humanity's quantum fold technology might be more important than anyone realized. Dr. Thompson's fingers flew across the holographic keyboard as she dug through the Council's historical archives. The aliens had granted her emergency access after the alarming energy readings appeared at the solar system's edge. What she found made her stomach turn. "Admiral," she called out, her voice echoing through the now quiet emergency bunker. "You need to see this." Admiral Walker hurried over, followed by High Counselor Rex. On her screen were records of dozens of civilizations, each marked with a red warning symbol. "Look at the pattern," she said, highlighting several entries. The Andromeda VI weren't the only ones. The Spiral Arm Coalition, the Ring Builders, the Glass Sphere Empire. They all discovered alternative methods of faster-than-light travel, and they all vanished. Rex's gray skin paled further. "We shouldn't be showing you these records." "Why?" Walker demanded. "Because they prove we're not the first to find a better way." "Because," Rex whispered, "the Watchers might notice you looking." As if on cue, the facility's lights flickered. On the main screen, the energy disturbance at the edge of the solar system grew stronger. It looked like a tear in space itself, darker than the blackness between stars. Dr. Thompson pulled up more data. These civilizations, they didn't just discover faster transport. According to these readings, they found ways to manipulate space itself, just like our quantum fold technology. The tree alien rustled nervously. "The Council wasn't formed to restrict progress," it explained. "We formed to survive, to warn others, to prevent more civilizations from drawing their attention." Walker leaned over the console, studying the records. These vanished civilizations, their technology was similar to ours. Similar, but different, Dr. Thompson answered, still reading. Each found their own method. The Ring Builders created space bubbles. The Glass Sphere Empire used something called quantum tunneling. But they all had one thing in common. They discovered that space-time isn't fixed. It can be bent, folded, reshaped. The energy being floated closer. That knowledge, it hummed, is forbidden. The Watchers believe young races must develop slowly, following the proper path. "Who are these Watchers?" Walker asked, his voice hard. Rex touched his device again, and a new image appeared. It showed a massive structure, seemingly made of dark energy, moving through space. "They are the oldest beings in the galaxy," he explained. "Perhaps the universe. They guard what they call the natural order of space-time. More like they enforce their own rules," Dr. Thompson muttered, still analyzing data. Then she sat up straight, her eyes wide. "Wait a minute. These energy patterns from the vanished civilizations, they're not random. They're responses." "What do you mean?" Walker asked. "Look," she pointed to her screen. When the Ring Builders made their first bubble drive test, there was a specific energy pattern from the Watchers. When the Glass Sphere Empire tested quantum tunneling, there was a different but related pattern. It's like the Watchers were reacting specifically to each technology. The lights flickered again, longer this time. The dark tear in space had grown larger. "The Watchers," Rex said quietly, "guard the laws of physics itself, or what they believe those laws should be. Any civilization that discovers a way to bend those laws," he trailed off, "is destroyed," Walker finished grimly. Dr. Thompson suddenly grabbed Walker's arm. "Admiral, that's it. The patterns, they're not just responses, they're attacks. Specific attacks designed to counter each civilization's technology." Her eyes blazed with excitement. "And if we can understand those patterns, we might find a way to defend ourselves," Walker finished, catching her meaning. The facility shook slightly. On the main screen, the dark tear had become a hole, and something massive was beginning to emerge. "It's too late," Rex said, his voice trembling. "The Watchers have arrived. May your gods help us all." But Dr. Thompson was already running to her lab, her mind racing with possibilities. If she was right, humanity's quantum fold technology might be more than just a new way to travel through space. It might be the key to fighting back against the Watchers themselves. The being that emerged from the dark tear in space defied description. It looked like a piece of night sky had come alive, shimmering with what might have been stars, or perhaps eyes. Its size dwarfed Earth's largest ships, making them look like toys in comparison. In the underground bunker, screens crackled with strange energy as the creature's presence disrupted their systems. Even the alien representatives seemed to shrink away from its image. By the ancient stars, Rex whispered, all four of his hands trembling. A first watcher itself has come, not just their servants. Dr. Thompson burst back into the room, carrying a stack of hastily printed papers. Admiral, I found something in the Council's oldest records, something they tried to hide even from themselves. Walker turned from the horrifying image on the main screen. What is it? The Watchers. She spread the papers on the table. They're not gods. They're not all-powerful. They're scientists. The first scientists. The energy beam moved closer, its contained form pulsing with interest. What do you mean? Look at these equations. Thompson pointed to complex formulas. These aren't just attack patterns, they're corrections. The Watchers aren't destroying civilizations that break the rules. They're forcing space-time to behave the way they think it should. Above Earth, the Watcher's form spread out like a dark cloud. When it spoke, its words bypassed all communication systems and echoed directly in everyone's minds. Children of Earth. Its thoughts boomed. UHAVSTRAYD from THE. Walker grabbed a microphone, his voice steady despite the situation. We are not children. We are a sovereign species, free to develop as we choose. You do note or stay and the forces UMETDLE with, the Watcher responded. The HFY break of spacetime, must remain stable, must follow VDA proper relays. Dr. Thompson was still studying the records. Admiral, these readings from the quantum fold drive, they're different from the other civilizations. Our method isn't just bending spacetime, it's harmonizing with it. The tree alien rustled forward. Impossible. Spacetime cannot be harmonized with. It must be controlled, regulated, kept within safe parameters. Says who? Thompson looked up, her eyes bright. Says the Watchers. What if they're wrong? What if spacetime isn't some rigid thing that needs to be controlled? What if it's more like music? The Watcher's presence pressed down on Earth like a heavy blanket. Your civilization, you are not ready for such knowledge. Surrender your technology, or face extinction. Walker looked at Dr. Thompson. Whatever you're thinking, Doctor, think faster. She was already running to the quantum fold drive controls. The other civilizations tried to force space-time to obey them, just like the Watchers do. But our method, we're working with it, not against it. That's why the Watchers came so quickly. We're not just breaking their rules, we're proving their rules might be wrong. The facility shook as the Watchers' power pressed down harder. Outside, the sky had turned completely black, filled with its vast presence. How does this help us? Walker demanded. Because, Thompson's fingers flew across the controls. If I'm right, we can use their own power against them. Every time they try to correct space-time, they have to connect with it. And if they connect with it while we're quantum folding. Rex suddenly straightened. You would dare to challenge the first ones themselves. We would dare to prove them wrong, Walker said firmly. Humanity has never backed down from a challenge, and we're not starting now. The Watcher's voice boomed again. UAV-1 planetary rotation to CO Mempili. After that, your species will be corrected. But Dr. Thompson was smiling now, the kind of smile that happened when a theory finally came together. One day is all we need, she said quietly, because I think I just figured out why the Watchers are so afraid of our quantum fold drive. It's not just a way to travel through space. She looked up at the dark sky visible on their screens. It's a way to prove that everything they've been doing for billions of years is wrong. Earth's leaders gathered around the holographic table in the bunker's main chamber. Above them, on every screen, the Watcher's dark form blocked out the stars like an endless storm cloud. They had 18 hours left before the ultimatum expired. "Are you absolutely certain about this?" Admiral Walker asked Dr. Thompson. The physicist had spent the last 6 hours reprogramming the quantum fold drive, her hands shaking from too much coffee and too little sleep. "Theoretically, yes." She projected a complex diagram onto the table. "The Watchers don't just enforce the laws of physics. They actively suppress any variations. But our quantum fold drive proves those variations are natural." High Counselor Rex stepped forward. "What you're suggesting is madness. No civilization has ever survived defying the Watchers." "No civilization had our advantage," Thompson countered. She turned to the energy being. "You said it yourself. Our method is different. We're not forcing space-time to bend. We're working with its natural flexibility." The energy being's contained form flickered thoughtfully. "The Council must officially withdraw all support if you choose this path. The Watchers will not forgive any who aid you." Walker looked around the room at Earth's military and scientific leaders. "Then we face them alone. But before we decide, Dr. Thompson, tell us exactly what you're proposing." She took a deep breath. "We modify every quantum fold drive we have. When the Watchers attack, they'll try to correct our version of space-time. But instead of fighting their correction, we'll use it, channel it through our drives, and create a cascading resonance." "In simple terms," General Martinez asked, "we'll prove that their rigid laws aren't natural. Space-time wants to be flexible. The Watchers have been forcing it to be rigid for billions of years. We're going to let it break free." The tree alien's leaves trembled. "You don't understand what you're risking. The Watchers maintain order across the entire galaxy. If their control weakens, then maybe it's time for change," Walker said firmly. "Earth votes to fight." One by one, the world's leaders added their votes. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would not surrender its technology, would not bow to the Watchers' demands. The facility shook as the Watchers' voice filled their minds again. "Your time grows short. She AIL of Earth. Choose wisely." Dr. Thompson was already moving. "We need to modify every quantum fold drive we have, and we need to distribute them in a precise pattern around the planet." "What about civilian evacuation?" Martins asked. Walker shook his head. "No time, and nowhere to go. The Watchers can reach anywhere in the galaxy." The Council representatives huddled together, speaking in their native languages. Finally, Rex turned to Walker. "Officially, the Council condemns Earth's decision and withdraws all support." He paused. "Unofficially, there are many of us who have waited billions of years for someone to challenge the Watchers." The energy being floated forward. "I will stay. My knowledge of quantum mechanics may help." "As will I," the tree alien added. "My people remember songs about a time before the Watchers, when space-time danced freely." Dr. Thompson looked up from her work. "We'll need all the help we can get. But understand, if we fail, the Watchers won't show mercy to anyone who helped us." Above them, the dark form of the Watcher seemed to pulse with impatience. Stars visible through gaps in its form were distorting, showing how its presence was already affecting space-time. Walker checked the time. 16 hours remained. "Dr. Thompson, what are our chances?" She paused in her calculations. "If I'm right about space-time's natural state, good. If I'm wrong," she shrugged, "then humanity's last act will be the most ambitious physics experiment in history. Then let's make it count." Walker turned to his officers. "Begin the modifications. Position our ships. If we're going to challenge beings that have controlled physics itself for billions of years." He smiled grimly. "Let's show them what humanity can do." The countdown to humanity's greatest test had begun. The Watcher struck at precisely midnight UTC. Its attack came not as weapons or energy beams, but as a massive wave of pure physics, attempting to lock space-time itself into rigid, unchangeable patterns. The black form above Earth pulsed with power that made reality itself scream. In the command bunker, every alarm went off at once. Dr. Thompson's hands flew across her console. "They're trying to rewrite our local space-time," she shouted over the noise. "Activating quantum fold drives." Now, around the planet, 30 modified ships powered up their drives simultaneously. Instead of creating travel points, they generated a web of quantum connections, letting space-time flex and bend naturally. "It's working." Thompson's eyes were fixed on her readings. "The Watcher's corrections are being channeled through our network." Admiral Walker watched the main screen as reality itself seemed to ripple. "All ships, maintain position. Hold the pattern." The Watcher's voice boomed through their minds, but now it held a note of confusion. "White ASD8S, you dare to resist, co-or-resti-to-ion. We dare to prove you wrong," Walker muttered. Then to his crew, Phase 2, launched the probes. Small devices shot out from Earth's surface, each carrying a miniature quantum fold drive. They spread through the solar system in a carefully planned pattern, expanding humanity's network of flexible spacetime. The energy being who had stayed to help floated excitedly. "Incredible. The quantum resonance is growing exponentially." "Enough." The Watcher's form contracted, concentrating its power. The sky turned completely black. "Your species will be eliminated." A new wave of correction swept toward Earth, far stronger than the first. But Dr. Thompson was ready. "Now," she yelled. Every quantum fold drive activated at full power, not fighting the Watcher's attack, but accepting it, channeling it, redirecting it through their network. Space-time itself began to vibrate like a plucked string. "Look!" The tree alien pointed at the screens. Where the Watcher's power met the quantum network, strange patterns were forming. Reality itself was choosing flexibility over rigid control. The Watcher's attack faltered. "Impossible. Space-time must follow the proper laws." "Must it?" Dr. Thompson's voice was quiet but firm. "Or is that just what you forced it to do for billions of years?" The quantum resonance grew stronger. Where the Watcher's darkness touched the network of drives, light began to shine through. Not normal light, but the glow of space-time expressing its natural state. "All ships report," Walker commanded. "Quantum drives at maximum power," came the responses. "Network holding steady." The Watcher launched attack after attack, each one trying to force reality to behave according to its rigid laws. But each attack was caught by the quantum network, transformed, and used to further strengthen the resonance. "It's working," Thompson shouted triumphantly. "The resonance is spreading through the whole solar system. The Watcher can't maintain its control." The massive dark form above Earth began to shift and waver. "This cannot be. We are the Guardians, the enforcers of order." "You're wrong," Thompson said firmly. "You're not guardians. You're jailers. And we just proved that space-time doesn't need your kind of order." The quantum resonance reached a critical point. Reality itself seemed to sing as natural flexibility overcame billions of years of enforced rigidity. The Watcher's form began to break apart. What ADV you doing?" Walker stepped forward. "We've freed space-time from your control, and we're just getting started." The Watcher's presence began to fade, its power over their region of space broken by humanity's quantum network. As it retreated, stars became visible again, but they looked different now, somehow more alive, more dynamic. Dr. Thompson checked her readings, her hands shaking with excitement. "Admiral, the quantum resonance, it's still spreading. The entire sector is returning to its natural state, the energy being glowed brightly. You've done more than defeat one Watcher. You've started a chain reaction. The rigid laws they enforced, they're breaking down everywhere the resonance reaches." Walker looked at the changed sky above them. "And the other Watchers? "They'll come," Thompson said quietly. "But now we know how to fight them. And we've proven something they never wanted anyone to discover." "What's that?" She smiled. "That the universe prefers freedom over control, even at the most fundamental level of reality itself." 1 month after humanity's victory over the Watcher, the Galactic Council chamber looked very different. The giant crystal dome now sparkled with new colors as light bent in ways that had been impossible under the Watcher's rigid laws. Representatives from thousands of civilizations had gathered not in fear, but in celebration. Admiral Walker stood at the center of the chamber, with Dr. Thompson beside him. They faced not just the Council, but delegates from every known species in the galaxy. High Counselor Rex, his gray skin now showing patterns of proud purple, addressed the gathering. "For billions of years, we lived under the Watcher's control. We thought we were protecting the galaxy by following their rules. Instead, we were helping them imprison reality itself." The energy being, now flowing in previously impossible patterns, moved forward. The quantum resonance continues to spread. Already, a third of the galaxy has returned to its natural state. The Watchers are retreating before it, but not without fighting, Walker added. He activated a hologram showing the changed state of space. Points of light indicated where the quantum resonance had freed regions from the Watcher's control, while dark patches showed where they still maintained their grip. Dr. Thompson stepped forward. "We've identified 27 attempts by the Watchers to stop the resonance. Each attempt has failed. More importantly, each failure has taught us more about both their powers and the true nature of space-time." The tree alien, its leaves now growing in beautiful fractal patterns, rustled excitedly. The old songs were true. Reality dances when it is free. "Which brings us to why we're here," Walker said. "Earth is ready to share the quantum fold technology with any civilization that wants it. We've already started teaching others how to build and modify the drives." The chamber erupted in excited conversation. Species that had spent millennia bound by the Watcher's laws could now explore new possibilities. "But there's more," Thompson added. The room quieted. "Our latest research shows that the rigid laws enforced by the Watchers didn't just limit space travel. They limited evolution itself, both technological and biological." She activated another hologram, showing the double helix of DNA, but now it moved in ways that would have been impossible before. "Life itself is adapting to the restored flexibility of space-time. We're all changing, growing, becoming more than what the Watchers permitted us to be." In the months since their victory, strange and wonderful changes have been reported across Earth and other worlds. Plants grew in new patterns, animals displayed new abilities. Even the stars themselves seemed more alive. "The Council has a new purpose now," Rex announced. "No longer will we enforce restrictions. Instead, we will help coordinate the liberation of our galaxy. Earth has shown us the way. Now we must all work together to free every region of space from the Watcher's control." Walker nodded. "Earth's fleet is already adapting more ships with quantum fold drives. We're ready to help defend any world that chooses freedom over the Watcher's control." "And what of the Watchers themselves?" asked a crystalline being from the upper tiers. Dr. Thompson smiled. "They're powerful, yes, but they're not gods. They're not even the universe's natural leaders. They're just the first species to discover certain physics principles they've been misusing for billions of years. Their time is over," Walker added firmly. "The age of rigid control is ending. The age of natural harmony is beginning." The chamber filled with cheers. Species that had once feared Earth's discovery now celebrated it. The Council that had begged Earth to stop its experiments now helped coordinate their expansion. As the celebration continued, Dr. Thompson stood by a window, watching space-time ripple in beautiful patterns that had been impossible just a month ago. Admiral Walker joined her. "Did you ever imagine," he asked, "that by refusing to follow their rules, we'd end up freeing the entire galaxy?" She shook her head, smiling. "No, but I did know one thing. Humanity has never been good at accepting arbitrary limitations. She gestured at the changed universe outside. And now, nobody has to accept them ever again. In the distance, a ship activated its quantum fold drive. Instead of fighting space-time, it moved with it, creating a beautiful ripple of possibility through the cosmos. The universe, at long last, was free to dance.